Welcome back to Port Calls. We've gained some wonderful insights into our air and seaports, and the future certainly looks bright for this vital component of our country. The development has a major impact on our economy, and the advancements ahead promise even greater benefits. Speaking of the future, let's wrap up by exploring how the key players envision the development of these crucial facilities.
For HIA, of course, we have HIA redevelopment, the new terminal that is coming up. But in terms of even the current facility, we want to see it modernized. Currently, we have the water management system, which has been critical to us in terms of processing persons, and we want to see more persons use that system so that we can first of all save on paper, but also save on the processing time. So in terms of modernization, we want to see stuff like arrivals and departures, where you have a system which we call a passenger processing system by use of technology. Now, of course, UNORA has a limited space, but what we are aware of is that there are systems which you can use through a cloud and maybe just have a couple of booths in terms of a queue system, a terminal for processing the passengers. So what you want to be modern in terms of not having to always go through the same check-in lines and then after the check-in lines, the departure process and everything else. You want to have systems where persons can not simply check in at home and online or whatever, but have the passenger processing system at the airport and also through in the terminal booths, but also through a cloud system. So we'd want to have potentially a hybrid operation where passengers are processed using technology. And that is one of the visions I see for UNORA.
First off, what we seek to do is to ensure that when the visitors come off the vessel, they are greeted in a particular manner. And when I say that, meaning that there are facilities that would protect them from the sun, the elements really, as the case may be. So that's one, which is what we have direct responsibility for, and that's a physical improvement on the berth 3 and 4, possibly at point surfing as well. But further afield, one of the things that we're looking to do and forms part of our agreement is the improvements to the vendors arcade and the flow of passengers. At the moment, the flow of passengers is such that persons, to get to the vendors arcade, you literally have to go through La Place Carénage onto Jeremy Street and then go to the vendors arcade. We're trying to now improve on that. We're trying to have that flow through the La Place Carénage directly into the vendors arcade. So that means you have more passengers throughput, which is more visibility for the vendors at the arcade, so that they can now benefit from what's happening at the cashless seaport. More importantly, one of the things that we will be doing is paying more attention to the ISPS, which is the International Ship and Port Security Code. That is important because we are subject to review by the US Coast Guard and the relevant agencies. And should we be found wanting, it can now tarnish the port and the reputation of the port. So one of the things we'll be working with is SLASPA security, the port police, SLASPA itself and customs in terms of how do we enhance the security operations on the port? How do we ensure that it's safe for everyone that is going to be accessing that port? And to do that, we will be introducing training, we'll be collaborating to ensure that we train persons appropriately and that they have the necessary tools to be able to ensure that the security of the port is in no way compromised. So we will be working closely with SLASPA on that.
So GPH, what they've done, because they are the world's largest cruise operator, they are operating in a number of countries. I've seen what they did in Antigua. I've seen what they've also done in the Bahamas. What they've also done is infuse their developments with local culture. So it's not a European brand that's coming in with European construction only, right? They may come with the knowledge, but they infuse your local culture into whatever that they are going to build in terms of whether it's a museum, whatever it is that they build in a country. And I can tell you, Nassau has moved from 4-point-something million passengers to close to 6, a very short period of time, because of that GPH investment. So with their footprint, being the largest cruise operator, they are in a position to grow that traffic and to influence as well So for St. Lucia strategically, we wanted to be part of that because we've tried different partnerships in the past. Different success stories, but I don't think the outcome was what the country wanted. But again, with Global Ports Holding, they bring that experience in developing the products in the country. So persons would spend more money and our local people would benefit more. There as well, infrastructural upgrades are also a huge part of the investment, and they will be paying us to SLASPA when we have no debt again, but we also have the responsibility for the insurance, for example. So in the negotiations, we ensured that there is an amount coming to the organization every year to ensure that we could cover the insurance costs. So without GPH, we still had the insurance costs. Now we have no debts. We have an amount for the insurance, for also the increase in the infrastructural investment to cover the insurance costs, because at the end of the day, SLASPA and the state remains the owner. It's ours.
Airports and seaports are lifelines for a country heavily reliant on tourism, including cruise tourism. Efficient and well-connected airports boost the country's accessibility, making it easier for tourists to visit. They enable direct flights, promote travel convenience, and significantly contribute to the local economy through job creation, increased spending in surrounding areas, and the development of related services and infrastructure. Similarly, well-managed seaports enhance cruise tourism experience, bringing in steady flow of visitors and supporting local businesses. Together, these transportation hubs are crucial in sustaining and growing the tourism industry, driving economic growth and ensuring a thriving future for the nation. That's all for today. Join us again in our next episode of Port Calls.